All right. Welcome, everyone. We'll be waiting just a few moments here before we get started. Give folks a chance to shuffle in. There we go. Seeing more people joining. Awesome, awesome. All right. Looks like it's slowing down, so we'll go ahead and we'll get this started. Yeah, I guess make sure here everyone doing okay this evening, or this morning, I should say. More people coming in, so I'm waiting a moment longer here.
It's exciting. We've got a lot of folks.
Yeah. All right, we'll go and get started now. All right, I am Matthew Berg, Senior Product Manager for Lightspeed Filter. We're very excited to have you here today for Lightspeed Learning Lab. I'm joined by Kate McDermott, a Senior Product Manager for Digital Insight. Now, this series was created based on input from all of you to help prepare you for a successful back to school. The Lightspeed Learning Lab is a 5-part series of short 30-minute webinars that are designed to summarize best practices, feature updates, new services, training, and support resources, and to help you maximize your partnership with Lightspeed and understand everything that we have to offer that can save you time and support your district priorities. Now, these 5 sessions will be recorded for you so you can share them with your team or watch them on demand at any time. If at any point during this you have questions, you can type them into the chat display on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, all of your questions are very important to us, so please don't be shy in asking for information that you need. We're going to try to answer as many as we can during our Q&A portion of this presentation. Additionally, there will also be a short survey at the end of the webinar, so please be sure to fill that out as well. Now, before we dive into the session today, I want to make sure that you all know that we understand the challenges that your schools are facing and that you face a lot of them. Lightspeed is committed to helping you with these challenges, whether it's guarding against cyber threats and risks to student data or dealing with increasing student and teacher wellness challenges. We spend a lot of time asking these questions to make sure that our product is informed and that our roadmap reflects and that we're serving you the best we possibly can. Now, in a moment, you're going to see a poll popping up asking you about what challenges are top of mind for you today. If you've attended any of our previous sessions, these poll questions will probably look familiar. Wait a second for that. All right. So the question, what is your biggest challenge this school year? Student safety and mental health, cost and license management, AI app use and policy making, data privacy and security, or addressing the digital divide? Wait a moment here for some answers to come in. They are flooding in. Wow. All right. Looks like most of you at this point have submitted your responses. We see 32% AI app use and policy making. That's very topical. I guess that makes sense why y'all are here then. And then with second place, close second place, is student safety and mental health. Now, as many of you are aware, our company has been building K-12 solutions for over 20 years, and we're protecting 20 million students, which is 11 million devices across the country and even the world. We work with schools and districts of all sizes, from larger districts like Chicago Public Schools and Westminster Public Schools in Colorado to smaller schools like Cottage Hill Baptist School in Alabama. Over the past year, we have been really busy making lots of new exciting features, and some of them are coming this fall. We have a lot of new ones coming this fall. Many of you use Lightspeed Filter today, but may not be aware that we have safety and wellness solutions and products to support student engagement and edtech impact. We recently launched a fully redesigned classroom management teacher user experience to help teachers save even more time and place continued focus on instruction. Now, more of these exciting releases you can see on this slide here. In addition to helping you surface usage insights and improve security and data privacy management, we recently launched a new digital equity module as part of Lightspeed Digital Insight to support equitable connectivity. This new premium module reports on internet access for students so you can see who has poor or no access when outside of school, helping you proactively troubleshoot and close the homework gap this year. The module also reports on device health and student activity to give districts additional context around what might be contributing to the internet access issues when the students are off campus. We're very excited about this, so please, we encourage you to reach out to your client success manager to learn more. Now, we're also working with counseling departments and student safety teams to ensure a safe and proactive approach to safety and wellness for students using our Lightspeed Alert product. And of course, we also know that transparency and communication with parents is key. We just enhanced Lightspeed Filter's parent portal, which provides now YouTube and social media controls so that parents can better manage distractions after school. Now, these are just a few of the things that we've been doing recently, and there's a lot more to come. Now, let's go and jump into today's sessions. I'm joined today by my colleague, Kate McDermott, the Senior Product Manager who leads Lightspeed Digital Insight. Together, we work daily to ensure that our products meet and exceed all of your district's needs. And in today's session, we'll be walking you through how our tools support AI management. So that way you're going to have everything you need to know how to set your district up for success this school year. We'll be discussing the state of AI in education, Lightspeed's approach to supporting districts, including the tools we have at the ready, and plus some take-home resources to get you started. So with that, I'll go ahead and transition over to Kate.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. I'm really excited to talk to you all today about the tools we have at Lightspeed to help you manage AI at your district. Before we dive in, I wanted to address the reason why AI management tools are so important. The quote on the screen from UNESCO reads, "AI has the potential to address some of the biggest challenges in education today, innovate teaching and learning practices, and accelerate progress. However, rapid technological developments inevitably bring multiple risks and challenges." So we know that AI has the power to revolutionize education, but not without bringing new concerns about ethics and student data privacy. So to get a sense of the challenges our clients and other districts are facing, we conducted a survey and heard from nearly 100 school districts. In the survey, we found that a staggering 78% of districts reported having partial or no visibility into AI usage. And this is despite 75% of districts being very concerned about academic dishonesty and 54% concerned about student data privacy. Only 13% of our respondents had teacher or staff PD in effect to help monitor and detect the use of AI within schools, but most reported that this was functionality that they wanted and they wanted to move in that direction. So between the results of our survey and concerns that we've been hearing directly from our clients, we knew that we needed to focus on helping districts with this new concern around AI. So we've been focusing on rapid innovation so we can provide districts with the tools they need to understand and manage AI usage. We know that the responsibility of ensuring safe and ethical use of AI does not reside in just one department. So we cater our tools to support the various stakeholders at districts who play a role in managing AI. So on the IT side, we help ensure the safety of student data with our filtering and analytics solutions. On the instruction side, we provide a deep dive into how AI is being used and by whom to help determine policy and identify needs around professional development. And finally, on the educator side, our classroom management product allows teachers to view and control students' screens so they can ensure the appropriate use of AI during class sessions. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the Lightspeed ecosystem of products, I want to give you a quick intro into the two tools that we're going to be talking about today. First, we have Lightspeed Filter. This is our flagship product and the product that people tend to be the most familiar with. Filter is the most comprehensive content filtering solution on the market with coverage across all operating systems and learning environments. Filter has an extensive database built through 20 years of web indexing and machine learning that helps prevent students from accessing millions of inappropriate sites, images, and videos. This ultimately gives schools the flexibility and control they need to promote learning and exploration on devices without hindering productivity or compromising students' data. Next, we have Digital Insight. This is our analytics solution that helps districts understand and manage their edtech ecosystem. Digital Insight helps districts evaluate the ROI of their apps so they can cut down on redundant or underused applications, and ultimately save money and ensure that their budget is being spent on the right tools. Districts can also manage and publish their list of approved apps to ensure that staff, parents, and other stakeholders are aware of what the district has approved for use, which is critical in complying with regulations. Now, there is so much more these two products can do, but without further ado, let's jump into the specific ways that we can help you with AI. All right, so the first feature I want to highlight is part of Lightspeed Digital Insight. We have more than 140 apps curated in our applications library, which allows us to provide detailed reporting on how those apps are being used at your district. So you're able to see high-level metrics that are aggregated across all of your schools, or you can drill down and learn more about how specific schools, grades, and students are using those applications. So now we're going to jump into a quick video so you can see the functionality and how it works. So starting here in our trending applications report, this is going to show you all of the apps in use across your school district. We've added AI-related tags, so you can quickly filter this list to specifically look at AI apps and get a sense of how they're being used across your schools. We're going to look specifically at ChatGPT. If you click on that, you're able to open the application profile. This is going to give you more information about the app. You can get a sense of how it's being used across Lightspeed's ecosystem of school districts. And then specifically, how is it being used at your school in different grade levels? And then you're able to look into usage over time to get a sense of is usage spiking or is usage declining. You can also explore and see all the specific students who are using that application. And you can even deep dive into a specific student profile to start to get a sense of how are students using generative AI throughout their school day or even after school hours. So this view here is going to give you a really good picture into how this student is incorporating generative AI alongside their other learning materials and applications. And you can even see down to the minute how long this app is open on the student's device, which is really interesting to look at. Awesome. So the next feature I want to highlight is also within Digital Insight, and that is our privacy policy monitoring solution. Within Digital Insight, we monitor the privacy policies for every app within our app library and alert you to changes so you can evaluate, do those changes to the privacy policies impact whether or not you feel this app is properly protecting your students' data the way that it needs to. So we're going to jump into another demo here. This is our student data privacy dashboard that gives you a kind of a quick glimpse of any data privacy concerns across your district. Here on the bottom right, we have our privacy policy updates widget. This is going to allow you to quickly identify whether the privacy policies have changed for any apps that you've approved or purchased. So in this case, we've got ChatGPT. We're picking on that one a little bit. You can see all the text that has been removed as part of this privacy policy. From our applications library, you can actually look at changes for any app within our app library. So we're going to go back into ChatGPT, where we're going to be able to look and see how has that privacy policy changed over time. So we're going to be able to see all the different versions that have occurred since we added this to our applications library. And you're even able to compare two versions to each other. So in this case, we're going to look at March to June 2023. And you're able to see, has ChatGPT added any text, removed any text, formatted anything that may fundamentally change the nature of this policy and the way your district is viewing it in terms of how safe it is.
All right, moving over to Lightspeed Filter, we have a couple of exciting features for AI here as well. The first one is our new Lightspeed categories for AI. Now, this is something that just came out recently, so you may be familiar with it a little bit already, but we released 3 new categories that'll give you some granular control of AI resources, specifically for the purpose of allowing you to make sure that certain resources are allowed while still being able to block this stuff that could be used maliciously. So we'll take a look at that more in a second. But then with this, we also launched a new activity type for AI as well. So the activity coming from these categories, you can now look at in the same way you would look at any other activity type and get the same advantages of that. So let's hop in and take a quick look at that as well. So here we are on our default rules page where we can see the 3 new categories. We have artificial intelligence, AI generative, and AI detective. Now, like I was starting to mention, the purpose of this is so that way you can allow tools like detective tools, which are really great in allowing students to understand whether or not something they're looking at may be AI generated or not, as well as you could even allow artificial intelligence, so that way you can have a more broader sense. Maybe there's some educational resources or other tools in there, while still blocking generative, which could be used more maliciously for things like deep faking or cheating. Moving over to our internet overview, we can sort of see our activities the same way we would for any other, and we see now a new type for AI that's at the bottom of this list here, and it's now going to get all the same benefits that we have, just like the rest of our activities that we have in Filter. So on this overview page, if we click into it, we can see the trends over time. So we can see allowed and blocked. Really, the best part about this is being able to look for any non-nominal activity, right? So is there a spike in AI usage? Maybe there's a new site or a new service that was launched that you need to look into and understand more about. And you can locate if something new or distinctly different is happening from this view and keep an eye on it. You can also see, of course, which groups, if you're trying to understand if there's any trends there, which groups are looking at it. If we drill into these top websites, though, we can actually then see what the users are, who the users are that are going to these sites. And since this is incorporated as an activity type, we get the same benefit on our user overview pages. So we can drill in and see trends for those users as well, all of that within that context. Just a nice, convenient way to further understand how this is being used at your district. Moving on, we also have a new type of search report. So we now have a suspicious AI queries search report. Really, the purpose of this is that idea of finding a needle in a haystack. There's a lot of noise in search data, and really being able to understand not just what, for the purpose of blocking, but even just being able to understand what people are trying to look for, especially things that could be suspicious and more so need your review. And then, of course, because it's in the search report, you can drill in and find the responsible users. If you need to take actions, you need to discuss that with them, those kinds of things. So just jumping straight into the demo here, what we can see is that if we go to our reports page, just our standard searches page as it exists today, at the top of this screen, we now have a new dropdown. We have a view all, which is the default, and suspicious AI queries being selected there. Now, on this view all screen, we can see a perfect example of that noise. There's a lot of stuff in here, right? And you don't necessarily know which things to find. And there's too much in here to really do anything reasonably with, right? And so that's where, if we switch to the suspicious AI queries, we can see a much more honed in set of results that are really focused around tools, especially things that are known to be used for, like, whether it's cheating, plagiarism, maybe it's for generating malicious code, it can be used for bots, things along those lines. And really, we're just trying to provide a very focused set of information so you can find things that matter. Now, like any search report, you do have allowed and blocked. So you can use this to sort of understand if you already have certain terms that are blocked, but also you might use this to add things to your blocked search keywords as well. Be careful with that. One thing to just know is that whenever you block a search, people try to find ways around it. So sometimes being able to just look into it from an allowed side actually can prove to be better. And from here, we can drill in, like I mentioned, and see who the users are that are looking for this. So just a really nice, simple way to be able to access this, this sort of more specific search data and understand how it's being used or attempted to be used at your district. All right. So that closes out our review of AI management tools with Lightspeed Digital Insight and Lightspeed Filter. Now, to quickly recap, we support AI management at your district in a multitude of ways, from monitoring AI app usage to helping safeguard student PII and giving you tools to control online access and keep tabs on that suspicious activity. So please make sure you log in and check out these new tools before back to school or during, but ideally before, so you can familiarize yourselves with them. Now, we did put together some additional resources to help you get started. These resources will be shared out after the session today and will include a back-to-school success checklist with key activities to ensure your products are up and running. And the checklist will also be dropped into the chat of today's session as well, so make sure you can check that out. We also have some product training resources, including our on-demand video library available in our customer portal and more. So please keep an eye out for these resources coming to your inbox soon. All right, now really quickly, I do want to also share what's coming up next for Lightspeed Filter. So coming soon is our certificate management solution for our macOS filter agent. Updates to the macOS operating system back in Big Sur had impacted the process to install these agents, requiring manual steps to deploy and keep certificates up to date. This update moves certificate management into the cloud and automates the entire process, providing you a hands-off and hassle-free experience for both that initial deployment and all of the annual updates after the fact. So that's super, super exciting. We're also, though, launching an updated experience for our flagged activity feature. The enhanced UI that we're bringing to it bridges the gap between the risk of the terms being flagged and who actually wrote the term. Now, some of you may be familiar with this feature already, but now you can see deeper insight into who exactly said which term and where, along with an enhanced way of viewing risk at a high level, so you can find the highest risk items, even alongside low risk flags. That's something that today is currently pretty challenging since it's averaging things out. Now, this tool is a perfect opportunity as well to even use in the context of AI usage and finding new sites and discovering new things that you may not have even been aware of. Now, with that, though, I'll go and transition back over to Kate to share what's coming next for Lightspeed Digital Insight.
Thank you, Matt. That's very exciting on the filter side. So on the digital insight side, we are super excited to be working on new admin roles, which is going to give districts even more control over who can see what data within digital insight. And it's going to give districts something they've been wanting for a long time, which is the ability to allow school level users like principals to access the tool. This is going to help ensure that central office and school administrators are both able to use digital insight and be aligned on a shared central source of truth. Now, before we get into our Q&A, I wanted to share the Lightspeed Learning Lab calendar of sessions. All of these sessions will be available on demand on August 11th, so this Friday. And we'll make sure to send you an email with links to these on-demand videos and related resources. I also want to spotlight tomorrow's session at 1 p.m. Eastern. This is going to be the final session of the series called Maximizing the Value, Security, and Effectiveness of Your EdTech Ecosystem. So this session is going to provide an in-depth look at how you can use digital insight to improve your EdTech management efforts this fall. This is going to be particularly relevant if you want to know things like, am I ensuring data privacy for all of the students across my district? Or on the cost saving side, if you want to find out, is the money you're spending going to the right places, and identify opportunities to cut costs. Now, if you've registered for one session, you should be getting emails about upcoming sessions. So make sure to join us later this week. All right, so from here, we're going to jump into our Q&A portion. Matt, how do we look on questions we've got rolling in?
Yeah, we've got quite a few coming in here. Let me go ahead and just grab one. All right, so first question, is there a way to allow students to use AI during some hours of the day, but block them using it at other times? That's a really good question. There is. So for those of you familiar with a Lightspeed filter, we do have a feature called after school rules. And that's really the main way that we segment things based on time or based on location, right? So you can make that distinction and sort of switch from one set of filtering rules to another set of filtering rules based on whether it's a schedule or if they leave the sort of network campus, right? So that's going to be based on your network IP addresses. So this is something you can use if your goal is to sort of make it so maybe they can't use these things afterwards because they're not being monitored as closely, or maybe it's the other way around and you want to kind of loosen things up and let them use it when they're not in school. So you can kind of use it how you want. You could use it even if you're just trying to segment. If you don't have an after-school program, maybe you want to just set it up so it sort of just changes at another point during the day. Right.
All right, I can take the next question, which is what training and support options are available for Filter and Digital Insight? So we have a newly revamped customer portal. So make sure to check that out. That contains things like implementation guides, help articles, and on-demand videos. We also offer advanced product training and professional development with live virtual sessions or in-person sessions, and that's with our new professional services team. So we'll send out more information as part of the resources slide deck after our session concludes, so you can learn more about those different training opportunities.
All right. Here's another good one. All right. How does Lightspeed Filter handle resources where AI is baked into the product itself? That is a really good question. So as many of you know, just for some context, with AI sort of proliferating so incredibly quickly, what we're seeing happen in everywhere is where these tools are just becoming part of all the products that we know, exist and are used today. So this is something we're very aware of, and we're very aware of this challenge. And so we're doing a lot of research and prototyping, trying to figure out if there are ways where we can handle sort of parts of the product and find these things. For the time being, what we're essentially doing is anywhere where the application, where AI is the primary function, that's how we're sort of tagging and categorizing these types of things. But as these tools grow, we are very, very aware of this challenge and the need to address this. So you can be on the lookout for new features and things that we're working on to address this exact type of problem, because it's just going to continue to grow and be harder and harder to manage. That's a really good question, and it's a tough one.
Yeah, before I answer the next question, I'll also add digital insight. We're going to piggyback on filter, and we're trying to solve the same problem as well, so that we can make sure we can report on not just apps that are entirely AI, but also get a sense of, apps or tools where AI is part, but not all of what that tool is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Next question. How hard is the process of getting this set up at my district if we currently have your classroom product? So I'll take that for digital insight. Coming soon is the ability, if you roster through SmartSync, which to use Classroom you would be, that SmartSync functionality is going to pipe over to digital insight, which means you won't have to re-roster when you add digital insight onto what you already have through Lightspeed. Digital Insight does have its own agents on Chrome, Edge, Mac, Windows, and iOS. But the rostering is going to be part of the Lightspeed ecosystem in just a month or so.
All right, I'm going to take another tough one here. Do you have recommendations for sharing the findings from filter reports to school-based staff, admin, teachers? This is a tough one, and it's going to vary a lot, sort of district and by district, school by school, that kind of thing. One of the things that I've seen and kind of working with a lot of different schools and various, folks out there is that really the best thing that you can do is try to sort of bring the conclusion to those staff members, because they're not going to have the same ability to interpret the data and the information that someone like you might have, right? So if you're reviewing this data, you already have more context. So we do have a scheduled reporting function that we are going to be working on sort of as we close out the remainder of the year here. And that's going to allow some automation of a lot of these things. But it is really worth noting, and I wanted to take this question to highlight this, that really anything that you can do to sort of help in that process of kind of, I guess, extrapolating what the result is, what this means and what they should do with it, that's going to be something I think that's really, really useful in making sure that something actually happens as a result of the information you provide. The data is great, and you want to provide that to back that up, right? Obviously, but just be aware that obviously everyone's very busy, and so that's going to be the better way to get action taken. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Kate, but.
Yeah, I was going to say on the digital insight, I mentioned earlier that we're going to be coming out soon with admin roles specifically for schools. So this doesn't directly answer the question because I know it's about filter reports, but on the digital insight side, we do have reporting around AI usage, even down to the student level. And so coming soon, you'll be able to grant principals or school-based staff access. And we also have scheduled reporting in digital insight that can be scoped down to a specific school. So you could also schedule reports going out to principals through digital insight if it contained the type of data you'd be looking to share with your filter report.
Yeah, that's actually a great call out. So just as a reminder too, if you're not familiar in filter today, you can set up administrative roles for teachers, for principals, things like that. And you can set it up so they can only see the data for their students and have access to that. So if you're comfortable with having them getting in the application and taking a look around, you can do that. And there's even a share function if you go to a specific user. So you have specific users you want them to take a closer look at and kind of look through that activity. That share function allows you to generate a temporary link that they could use to sort of look through that information. So there are a variety of other things. I would also just recommend for any of these types of things, please reach out to your customer or client success manager. They can help you with a lot of it. They deal with a lot of these types of questions, and they have the support members sort of even help with like how could these reports look, and they'll have examples from other clients, things like that. So please don't hesitate to reach out about these types of things. That was really, really good question. Thank you.
Awesome. So, yeah, thank you. So we are out of time. If your question wasn't answered, we'll follow up with you directly to make sure that we can get you the answer. We hope you gained insight into best practices and techniques today to help ensure a smooth and successful return to school. Good luck, everybody. Back to school is upon us. If you're interested in discussing our professional development and training courses, please reach out to your client success manager. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you at the next Learning Lab session.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.